Hey guys, it's Jake here with eTrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at your RV propane systems fittings. We're going to go over the fittings just so you guys know what they're called, what sizes, what lengths, and kind of what to look for. You're most likely looking for replacement fittings because as campers get older, we all know that your rubber hoses can dry rot and start to crack, and then they may start leaking after that. So to help you get started, it's going to help to be able to identify where each of the fittings are. So your main pigtail is always going to be coming out of your tank, and if you have two tanks like on a travel trailer, you'll have two of these, one coming out of each tank, and then those will go into your regulator, and then your regulator's here, and then you'll have your main supply hose coming out of the bottom, and that is what will feed the rest of your camper with the propane. Now the things you want to look for are going to be the size of the fitting, so you know, whether it's a 1/4 inch or 3/8 or whatever it might be, and you want to see whether it's male or female. The two groups we're going to talk about are the main components that are already in your RV or your camper. These are going to be for RVs and for fifth wheels or travel trailers. And then over here we have two different hoses that are going to be for auxiliary. So we're going to talk about those two after we talk about the main system. For your main system, if you have an RV, you're going to have a POL fitting, and this is going to screw into the inside of the inlet coming out of your RV's propane tank, and it's going to have a male inverted flare on the end of it. That'll be a 1/4 inch. And then if you have a travel trailer or a fifth wheel, you're going to have a type 1, which are very easily identified because they have these big knobs on the top, look just like your barbecue pit knobs. And then if you have a fitting that looks like this, that is going to be an NPT fitting. It's going to be three different sizes: 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. And then a male inverted flare, again, like we said for this, is going to be look a little different. It's going to have an inverted flare style end to it, and these will always be a 1/4 inch. So those are going to be the two different styles of fittings that are going to fit into your regulator. Our regulators are going to have an inlet and an outlet. Sometimes they will conveniently say in and out on the back side, and an arrow showing the direction of flow. If your camper or your RV is like mine and has two tanks, usually your regulator will have two hoses coming out of the side of it, or you'll have an adapter on the top that has two inlets on it so that you can connect it to the top of your regulator. So the two fittings on either end are a NPT or a female inverted flare. After your regulator, you're going to have your main supply hose. Your main supply hose is either going to be a 3/8 or a 1/2 inch connection. They're going to have a male fitting that is a standard NPT, and then the other end is going to be a female inverted flare. You'll just have to take a simple measurement, measure across, and figure out whether you have a 1/2 inch or a 3/8. And this is just going to connect into your regulator to then go to the rest of your camper. One note that I will make is you want to make sure you're using some type of sealant when making all of these connections, whether that is a liquid form of sealant for propane connections, or if you use this tape, it's a thread seal tape that you just will wrap around the threads, and it just helps to make that a sound connection so you don't have any leaks. There is white seal tape and yellow seal tape. You want to make sure you get the yellow seal tape so that way if you ever get rid of your camper, or for your knowledge too, that you know that it is a propane connection. And when it comes to the auxiliary hoses that you can get, we have a quick disconnect, which are very convenient for a lot of people use them for barbecue pits. Mine just so happens to have a shutoff on it so that when you go to disconnect, it's not pressurized. But these are really handy for portable fire pits, barbecue pits that may mount on the side of your camper. If you don't have a fitting already installed on your camper, you will need to install a female fitting on your camper to connect the male and then the female on the hose into your grill or your accessory. Our other auxiliary hose that we're showing is the 1" 20, and these are going to connect to those, typically those little green portable propane bottles, and then the other end will plug into whatever accessory. We'll also have a female 1" 20 on it to accept this hose. That can also vary. There's a lot of little grills that will accept this. Again, little fire pits or any accessory that you might need an extension hose from your tank to the accessory. And then our last little piece here is going to be a male flare fitting. It's going to have a male and a female flare fitting on it. A lot of systems in your RV will have this. It's just so that your hose doesn't have to bend at a 90-degree angle. This fitting will take up that angle instead. Well guys, hopefully this video was able to alleviate some of the confusion that RV propane systems can often cause. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you later.